The Offcast, plugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now.
And okay, that was a good start. We got San almost stripping off and then disappearing. Sets up the tone of, and a flick of his hair. As he all freshly come from the makeup department, looking all good.
Right, let's talk about you looking good. Because,
you know, got little filters.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been great fun. I've been playing with neural filters this week on Photoshop. They're pretty cool. You can do all sorts of funky stuff. You can make yourself look better and much, much worse. But yeah, I've just been going back through all my old photos and making people smile, or you can make people angry. Yes. You can move their eyes around. But yeah, it's pretty funky stuff, this AI shit.
Yeah, I was talking to a coder, like a very clever coder, about 5 years ago, and I was saying, I can't wait till AI comes along and allows us to unblur photos, or and the coder, in the typical arrogant coder way, said, that's never going to happen. Shut up, stop being stupid. And I felt very sheepish and embarrassed at my obviously stupid thought. And then here we are 5 years later. I feel vindicated. Yes.
I mean, it's still limitation. I've got some pretty down-res photos, and it can't work magic yet, but you can really see.
It's going to be a couple of years.
I mean, yeah, about sort of 15 years ago, I was very into genealogy. My mum and I did a lot of research into our family tree. So we've got all these archive of old black and white photos, and now with literally a click of a button, you can colorize them. And I am just desperate to go back into like these old, photos of great-great-grandparents and stuff, and it's gonna be
It's going to be amazing. I mean, I was looking at some of the new stuff that OpenAI had just announced on the image generation and editing side. And you can, completely change things like the smiling, but you can also add, layers of depth to older photos, or change the style of a photo and image. And that stuff is just, at the moment, it takes, 20 seconds or something stupid. It makes you feel like it's the old days of the dial-up internet. But, you just think about how quickly it went from dial-up internet to fiber. Within our lifetimes, it's going to be sort of like your glasses will just be re-rendering everybody to look like Brad Pitt.
Oh, and I must admit, a massive vanity. So for this week, Daniel at Beavers, because it's Mother's Day in the UK on Sunday, reminder to everyone, it's Mother's Day in the UK on Sunday. They've been asked to bring in a photo of them and their mum. So I took on the sofa, just took a little selfie, and I was about to print it off, and I thought, I wonder. So I've straightened it. I've got rid of the onesie that was hanging in the background, looking a bit, all little food stains on his top, gone. Make it a complexion a bit softer, and then that'll do. Send that off. Unfortunately, it does feed into the vanity of people, but it's cool.
And our great grandchildren will think that we were all beautiful people until the age of 90.
They'll be suddenly like they'll be looking back at photos, going, "What happened?" Like when she turned 46, she suddenly looked better. She's like, there's some weird medicine they had. No, it was yeah.
So apparently I'm echoing. I don't know if that's my fault or your fault.
Well, it does sound a bit. Well, I've tried raising up my microphone so you can actually see it here. That's how close I'm getting it now. But it does sound a bit echoey. Let me move those a little bit and see if that helps. Give that a go.
Okay. So let us know if that's fixed it. If not, we'll try and attempt to fix it again. Yeah. But yeah, this AI stuff, it is cool, and we're still just at the very beginning of it. I mean, honest, it's like the beginning of, I don't know, fire, or the beginning of airplanes or something. Or somebody invented the wheel, and we were like, oh my God, look, it rolls.
Well, some of you have seen, those of you who follow us on socials, that I reposted a little article from Microsoft today celebrating anniversary of Clippy. The
Oh
old
my God.
paperclip, which was in many ways the very first attempt
Yes.
at some sort of AI, which brings us full circle. And I mean, that was a seamless link, if ever there was one, into the AI, the crafty world of AI crafting. As you will see across the screen now, I've got a big banner I put up. Agent AI crafting is here. And I'm going to flash that a couple of times. There we go. Yeah, this week we're going to talk about the brand new feature that came out on Tuesday, which is the ability to craft your very own AI agent. Now, there's lots of caveats with this, as always, but there's also loads to discuss and loads to just wonder about, because this is very much a first step in a much
Yes.
bigger plan that we have. As always, we never like to take things easy. We never try to ride with the waves. We always try to stay one step ahead and really think. Actually, there's a lot of banging going on. I have Chris is building a fence, and his work shed
He's going to put the fence between you and the house.
it's halfway through the house. It's going to divide the house in two. We finally had enough. We are partitioning our lives. No, his shed is literally through that wall behind me. So if you hear a lot of banging, that is him trying to make a fence. What was I saying? Yes.
No, we're talking
The
about the fact that we're in a situation at the moment where we had a choice. We could either like go quiet for 6 months while we built the tech and then launch the tech in a final state 6 months down the line, where it was all, angles finished and everything was done, or we could use like drop piecemeal. And dropping piecemeal provides us obviously with the option to show you guys what we're working on, show you where we're at, and let you get familiar with it, use it, and provide feedback, which is one of the joys of this whole platform, is that we get to build it with the help and feedback of you guys. So while
yeah,
we're
we can
here,
never be accused of having launched something that was ready.
no.
Not us.
Ready is for losers.
Not our style.
No, not our style. No, exactly. So we're in a situation, obviously, where we understand there's a lot of misunderstandings around it, or not quite clear comprehension because we haven't delivered the final product. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today is where we are now, where we're headed, and what are the stages in between, and what do we expect, and what do we want to achieve, what do we expect that's coming from the AI tech side of things that we're going to incorporate, and how is this going to be valuable to you, the user, and your metaverses?
Yeah, so to give
Um,
a really brief recap of kind of where we are at the moment in the sort of timeline. So the first thing we did, I can't remember when it was, back in January, was to release some AI agents into the world of Multiverse. These are summoned with a paperclip. And they chat. First of all, first ones were the Cliptron team,
yeah,
which chatted about various arcane topics. We then expanded this into the ability for you to select your own agents from a pre-made set. We then gave these agents the ability to read certain information about you, your metaverse, the room it was in, the metaverse it was in, and to station these throughout your spaces so they can act as entertainment, tour guides, misleading, mischievous imps, whatever you selected out of the character set. This has now been the next step in that, where rather than just taking an off-the-shelf AI bot, we've now given the ability to actually craft your own. Now, this does come with limitations. It's not available to everyone. We first of all rolled it out to the enterprise and business users as a first stage, obviously to give them priority as one of the perks of that higher subscription level. And what it means is they can purchase or share modules, and we'll talk about those a bit more in a minute, and use these modules to craft their very own agents. Now, a lot of the confusion, I know Sam's going to be talking about this a bit later on, about is, yes, what then? I've got this agent, what do I do next? And this is part of this much bigger plan that we've got going on. So it's a long pathway that we started off the past couple of months, and that's kind of where we're at with it at the moment, and you'll see that progression going forward with
Yeah.
greater features and functionality all the way through. And you're kind of on this journey with us as we're developing and things, and you can sort of see where we've come from, and hopefully share where we're going with it as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, the agents we've really got from a point of view of their usefulness in the app is fantastic. I mean, I think we've all seen that when you're alone in a room and you want to know what's going on, you pull out an agent and you trigger the paperclip. It will provide you with information that is valid and relevant. Now, there are some huge limitations on that right now. The first is you've got to use a paperclip. The second is it's not two-way. The third is that you don't get to interact with the agents. They don't remember you, and there's no long-term memory. And fourth, the amount of context they have when they interact with you is very limited. So given all of those limitations, I think that it's already quite compelling. The thing that we're obviously hearing about and everybody mentions all the time is, yeah, but we don't want to pay for it. It's like, well, we don't want to pay for it either.
Don't want to pay for my mortgage. I
No,
don't
exactly.
want to pay for my groceries.
I don't want to pay for the car I've got and the petrol or the electricity, but those things cost. And obviously, our goal and our job is to bring those costs down, to find ways to optimize it, to find ways to make it more affordable, more engaging, and find opportunities to let you interact with an agent in a way that is compelling, valuable, and useful. And those are the things that we're going to be doing over the next few months. So the first thing that I want to reiterate is that the price has come down. We have dropped the price already in line with the price drops that we're getting. So it's not like we're adding costs. The biggest single cost that we've got is the text to speech. So when we convert the text that gets output into voice that then gets spoken in the app, that is the single most expensive part. By an exponential level, more than anything else. So given that, what we have to do is work out how and when we can drop those prices. A lot of things that people want are their own voices or custom voices. But that is even more expensive than the really, really, really expensive text to speech. So that's not going to come until after the text to speech prices have come down. Second thing that everybody talks about wanting is more voice ranges. And again, the affordable text to speech that we're using, that you guys are already complaining is too expensive, is limited to 12 voices in English. So those are obviously things that we're going to fix and address as those become more available. In the industry, I'm talking to people about this stuff all the time. The feeling very much is that we've seen a tenfold decrease in price of the text generation over the last year, and that's happened 3 years in a row. So we're looking at something that's like 1,000 times cheaper than it was 3 years ago. We expect that to continue. The voice hasn't changed for 3 years. So the voice prices that we're dealing with today is the same prices we were dealing with in the past. We all expect that to start changing in the coming year. And as that does, we'll be ready to adopt those new technologies, those new prices, and pass those cuts and savings down to the users, hopefully getting to a place where it's free to use the agents. So that's the main goal, and that's where we're headed. How long it'll take to get there, I'll tell you, but we're prepping ourselves to be ready for that sort of thing as it comes.
Indeed.
The second thing is obviously the two-way conversation. At the moment, if we go to two-way conversations, it is doable. It's more expensive, but it's doable. The other problem we end up with is that the voice ranges are even narrower. So we go from the 12 voices we've really got down to something like 9 if we start using the two-way conversations. So we're trying to negotiate that side of it as well and see when that changes. The voice generation or the actual recording of your own voice and using it is very cool tech. We've been playing with it quite a lot. People, when we show it to them, don't believe that it's not my voice or Wendy's voice or my daughter's voice when I play it back. And the stuff is really good. Again, just not quite at that point where it's affordable to pass on as a service. Hopefully, that's all changing in the next few months, or we'll see. But basically, free use of agents is what we want to deliver, and we want to find a way to do that for all tiers. And one of the first things that we've done, which is provide free, basically, ChatGPT chats to your agents on the back end. So if you are a business member,
Yeah, no, I was going to say, yes, so let's dive in and see what it is that we've actually released for you, for
Yeah.
anyone who's not given it a go yet, and for those on other subscription tiers who are waiting eagerly for when we can roll it out to you as well. So what you now get, let me find, I've got a couple of posters here. Agent crafting, that says, there we go, dull one, right, agent crafting overview. So how to craft your very own unique AI agent in an absolute nutshell, the smallest of nutshells. You create an agent, you give it some features, and you make it, and you craft it, and you mix it up. That's how simple it is in a very small nutshell. So what you do, you can purchase things that we have called modules. Now, how do you purchase these? You can find those good old trusty kiosks, which we have placed some around the world, and I think they'll placeable as well for all you plot owners. You can create a module kiosk on your plots. And same way as all the other kiosks in app, you go up to these, use MetaCoin, and you purchase a bundle of modules. Now, one of the also new features that we've introduced is another way of purchasing these modules. When you log on to your account on multiverseonline.io, you can actually use your MetaCoin balance to purchase them online. So this is a new feature. When you go onto that page, yeah, as Stan's saying, look up on the top right hand corner and you'll see your current MetaCoin balance, and that can be used to purchase packs, so I think it's 10, 25, 50 or 100 of these modules. Once purchased, they go into your inventory, and just like the other inventory items that hopefully you're all now getting used to, you can see them on your wrist menu. You can share them, so if you take one out and pass it to someone else, then you can just share between yourselves these modules. So that same mechanic is there for purchasing and sharing these things. But what are these modules, I hear you say? Now, we've had a bit of a laugh about this, about why we chose to use what we did for these modules. I'm not quite sure why we did, we just did. There's going to be a definite age divide from people who go, what the fuck are those? And people go, oh, I remember those. And probably somewhere in the middle, people will go, no, not quite sure. So what we have done, we have used some old school storage devices. We've got a floppy disk, we've got a flash drive, we've got an external hard, a CD, an old VHS tape. So these are the modules that you can purchase packs of. It's kind of kooky. Who cares? I like it. But it's done, and we will now be moving on with these. But what do they all mean? So I'm going to put up on the screen now a little legend. So these are what these modules are. So there are 7 types of module, and each one represents a different type of feature that you can give your agent. As you can see on the screen, we've got interests, physical traits, personality, ethnicity, speech style, backstory, and gender. So as you purchase your pack of modules, you'll be given a random set. When you buy a pack of 10 modules, 25 modules, you'll be given a random mix of these different types of module, which when you go into inventory, you'll then see exactly what they are and how they break down. So interests, that's fairly self-explanatory. What is your AI bot going to be interested in? Whether it's cycling, whether it's tandoori ovens, or black and white films from the 1950s, these are its interests. We also have personality. Is he happy? Is he grumpy? Is he one of the 7 dwarves? Any of those? These are the personality types that he will get. We also have a speech style. What are the speech styles? I can't think offhand.
The speech styles are ways that makes it interesting with the 12 voices to be able to tell the difference between the use or the AI agents. So you'll have things like Yoda speak or Pig's Latin, or robotic nonsensical speak, or poetry, or iambic pentameter, or Shakespearean English, or something like that. And each of these is a way that the agent will interact with you and thereby have a different tone, a different inflection, a different way of interacting. Interestingly, they bleed over. So if you have a poet in your AI mix and you have them in a room with somebody else, it's likely they'll both start talking in poetry because they sort of have a knock on, or one speaking in poetry causes the other to.
Telepathy.
And yeah, and basically it's how they interact with you. And given that we can't update the number of voices to more than 12 yet, it's a great way to help differentiate different AI avatars with maybe the same voice because they sound and come across very different.
Indeed. Moving around, we have gender. That one is also fairly self-explanatory. We have
more than two, though, don't we?
Of course. I mean,
Yes.
there are more than two, so we have more than two. Again, hit that mix to see what you get. We have backstory. Work quite hard on some of these. So, was your agent once a lady in waiting? Did there used to be a baker?
Drunken pirate.
Yeah, did there used to be a unicorn? Had they once found a hidden spell that changed the world? Are they an executioner who couldn't quite go through with it and got the jitters at the final moment? Various backstories.
They add a bit of spice to everything, don't they? They also change the image, interestingly. So given the type of backstory, it's likely that the backstory will be reflected in the image that it generates. So that's one of the key things to note. If you add the backstory of the pirate, it's more likely for it to have an eye patch and a hat.
Indeed. And next one, ethnicity. So these are your fairly obvious ethnicities. Are they Australian, Dutch, Mexican? But there may also be a few non-humanoid ones in there as well. Are they a black Labrador? Could they be a koala bear? Various mix of ethnicities. And the final one is...
I've got to say, though, just to be honest, that was one of the most difficult parts of this whole thing, was what do we call it? Do we call it races? And then we find ourselves saying that there's a difference in race between a Canadian and an American, or do we say that they're ethnicities that include androids and Labradors and cats?
So they're fairly loose descriptions of these. And the last one is physical traits. Now, a couple of points to note here, which San just touched on, in terms of physical traits. When you get your bot, there are going to be the standard multiverse robot avatar. If you pick a physical trait such as long hair or blue eyes or Amazonian woman, it's not going to change that bot. What that refers to is the image that gets on the bot's face. So the images that we all upload ourselves for our own bots. So this is what that physical appearance refers to. And that also is where the gender and the ethnicity come in as well. So they will shape that image generation. So it's all done via an AI image generator. It feeds in this information, that mix of items, and comes up with a unique image to go on your bot's face. And hence this massive variety. I mean, infinite doesn't even begin to describe it. When you purchase your modules, let's go a bit more now into how this works.
Let me just jump in, because one of the things that we wanted to do, which I think we've achieved by giving this near infinite or variety, is we didn't want people to end up with the same bots. At the moment, before this week, when you wanted to add a bot, you only had the selection of the ones that we'd made available to you in the back end. And if you wanted a unique bot, we were attempting that with Fade and Beck. They both got to try out adding unique bots to their metaverses. Those bots were ones that we were sort of cautious that might get duplicated around. If we let everybody do it, somebody would find a good one, copy and paste the script, and that script would go around and everybody would have the same bot. This way, we get to a place where each bot is entirely unique. And you can create a bot with just one module, you can mix 100 modules, you can do whatever you want. And each time it will create a different bot. If we use the same modules, if I use happy and long-haired, and I put those in and generate a long-haired happy hippie, Wendy might put in long-haired and happy and generate something entirely different. So the idea is very much that your bot will be unique to you, your AI agent will be unique, and that AI agent will be unique across all of Multiverse, regardless of how many users and how many AI agents are created. So it makes them special. Now you can remix them. So if you don't like the way it turns out, there is a remix button both for the image and the text description. So those are two things you should be aware of and play with. I'll let you take it over again.
Yeah, and I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so once you've got your modules and you go onto the crafting page on the website, you will see that list of modules categorized by all those 7 types and a long list exactly what feature they are. All you do is once you've created your base bot, which is just an empty shell, a nothing bot, you then pick which of these modules you want to give it. And as Sam said, you can pick just one. You can pick 4 personalities and nothing else. You could pick all backstories. You mix from what you've got. If you don't like the modules you've got, then trade, share, purchase some more and see what else you get in that mix. And then start adding them. And you can add them infinitely, although that does come with a caveat. The ones that were most recently added will be given priority. So if you add just one interest of fashion, it will like fashion. If you then add 10 more, that fashion gets pushed down the very bottom and doesn't really get given much weight. The most recent ones will. So beware of when you're adding things that there will be a cutoff limit as to whether things really get picked up by that AI. And that's it.
That gets a bit more complex when you do, for example, eye color. Now, if I say green eyes and then I add yellow eyes afterwards, I can't guarantee that they won't still be green, or a mix of green and yellow, or green and yellow, or one green, one yellow, or both yellow. I mean, if it's the way the AI works is it will down prioritize the old ones and up prioritize the new, but it is a little bit fluffy. So be aware that those things are intentionally fluffy, but fluffy.
It's like there's a game that kids often play. So they'll get a bit of paper and their crayons, and one will say it's a pirate, and they'll start drawing a pirate. And one goes, it's only got 2 legs, 3 legs, and they all draw 3 legs. And one says it's got blue eyes, they draw blue eyes. One says it's got green eyes, and each picture comes out slightly differently. They're all very valid. They're all working in that kind of same way. And as you know, in that same way with image generators, they often produce different things from the same input. But it will use all that input, but in the same way that if I said to you, draw a person with blue-green eyes, some of you might draw one eye blue, one eye green. Some might do a lovely kind of aquamarine colour. Some might do a gradient. That's how you interpret it, and that's.
And some might draw black eyes.
Yes, some might go fuck up to do red. That's that AI element. So we're not talking. I mean, again, this is what AI is. It's got its own oomph to it. It thinks for itself, and that's a very bold statement. It's going down the matrix pathway to say they're actually thinking for itself. But that is almost what it's doing. It's taking that input, thinking, how do I, the AI, interpret it? And here's what I've decided to give you.
Exactly. That's a good description. I mean, this morning I was testing it out because there was a whole load of chat on Discord. And one of the things I tested was adding an AI agent that was made simply from adding ponytails. Nothing else. No description of the personality, no backstory. And yet the AI generated a really nice individual with a beautiful photo and image and a personality and a backstory and likes and traits and other things. And these were all generated by the AI based upon basically its own freedom for somebody it thought has ponytails. And that sort of thing is what you can expect. It's sometimes better to use just one module rather than stacking tons, because that one module will really help give an archetypal person. If you choose the backstory of the unicorn pirate, then you're going to get the unicorn pirate. If you add 100 other modules to that backstory, and the AI is going to be a lot less picky on the little 1% that's the unicorn pirate, and it's going to choose from a whole load of other things, and the unicorn pirate might get lost. So
Would the
depending
horn
on
stick
how
through the tricorn hat? Or would it be
it's
a
through
sort of
the
jaunty
eyepiece.
angle?
It's a narwhal with an eyepiece over the horn. The But yeah, the way that these things work is fluffy. It is intentionally fluffy, and that does actually mean there is value in it, because that value is in the uniqueness. It's like every human is different, and whether or not you like it, I'm unique, and that gives me value.
Indeed. So, moving on then, that brings us to the next key feature that we've put in here. So you've got your agent, you've put the modules in, you've given it a remix, you've given it a stir around, and the system has created your very own personal, unique, never to be seen again, never been seen before in the whole world agent. And it gives you, what does it give you? It gives you the face picture. It gives you a name. It gives you a bio based on this information. But then you're still like, well, but I don't quite know what it's like. I'm trying to create a personality here. What have I created? Yes.
And do I want it to represent me in my store, for example?
Yes. Is it suitable? Is it worthy? Is it worthy of what I want?
Yeah.
So on this same back end on the website, you can then start chatting with it. We've put in a chat feature the same way you get those little chat bots when you visit a customer service site or any other chat bot things. Chat bots. And you can chat with it. It will introduce itself, ask it a question, and you can start seeing the personality come through.
And there's a couple of things in there that are a little bit important to talk about. And I think I want to rest on this one a bit and go through the depth. First of all, I want to talk about, chatting with it. Obviously, that helps you understand how it responds, how it's going to interact, gives you an idea of what it might appear like and how it might speak or talk in Multiverse. Now, that's obviously extremely important, especially if you're going to have it, for example, man your storefront. The second thing is it actually remembers your conversations. Now, not in the really creepy way, but in the sense that the more you give it, the more it knows about you. And the more it knows about you, it remembers that so that it can interact with you better in the future. And this is, it's a little bit like making a friend. If you don't tell it anything about yourself, then it's not really going to be a very good friend. The more you interact with it, the more it remembers, and that is going to be valuable for many different things going forward. Now, what we can promise you is that that content is private. So don't worry, it's not something that other people can have access to, or if you tell it your deepest, darkest secrets, that actually I like smelling stinky socks in the evening before I go to bed, that's going to seep out into your storefront, and every guest that comes into your storefront is going to be told about the fact that you like stinky socks. Those things are things that we're going to be exploring how we can use in a valuable manner, specifically when we start giving you access to providing it with really valid information. Information, for example, on your storefront, information on the sorts of things you like. Maybe you're an artist, maybe you create AI art, maybe you sell the AI art. The more information that you can provide it, the more it will understand about you. And in the future, you will have the option as to how much of that information you want to be able to let through to, for example, the storefront where it might be selling or promoting your AI art for you. But that is private to you. It is your private data. We are a European British company, so we follow the whole GDPR rules. That isn't data we're selling to anybody. I can promise you, you're safe on that level. But that information is limited at the moment to the two-way conversational chat with your agent on your back end. So feel free to interact with it, feel free to talk to it, but be aware that that is something that we are going to take much further in a way that is helpful and useful to you, so that, for example, you could interact with it and potentially give it, I'm giving you some caveat ideas of what we might do in the future. So I think maybe Wendy's going to slide something across the bottom of the screen. But the idea here is, for example, we give it your phone number, and it now has the ability to send you a WhatsApp message and tell you that you sold one of your apartments in Multiverse, and maybe you want to go in and check out which one you've sold. Or it might know that because you talked to it and you said, I don't want to be told about stuff like that, It won't pester you. It might appear in the future in your room with you, in your home room when you launch the app and say, hey, Wendy, turns out that you've sold 5 apartments since you were last gone. And Doc Massey left a message for you. He says, come visit his latest restaurant. It's really messy and he thinks you'll love it. Those sorts of things, the sorts of things that you can expect to see coming out of it. So basically, the more you interact with it, the more of a friend it becomes, the more it knows you, the more it understands who you are, what you like, and where you're excited. I mean, let's say Wendy is really excited in fences because her husband is making them, and her interest at the moment is fences, fences, fences. She could talk to the AI about fences.
Soundproofing.
Oh, soundproofing, there we go. So the fact that she knows, or the AI agent that she interacts with knows that she likes soundproofing, it could be that somewhere else in Multiverse, there is a person with a metaverse that sells soundproofing and that Wendy doesn't know about.
Fences make more
But
sense.
the AI could do the introduction and say, you know what? It turns out there is actually a metaverse in Multiverse that deals with soundproofing. Do you want me to take you there? Those are the sorts of things that you can expect that we want to head down. That's the value of this whole conversation. And
yeah, and so that kind of a point out there, that once you've got this agent and you're chatting away with it online, you can also use it just as the old original agents. So when you go into your metaverse or any room within your metaverse and you click those custom AI agents, your agents will be on that list. So you can still choose from the standard off-the-shelf ones that we have provided, but you'll also see your own ones there, and you will be the only person that can see your ones there. These aren't available for general purpose. They aren't available for general purchase. These are unique to you. Now, we may investigate ways they can be sold, they can be traded, they can be further exploited in the future, but for now, these are just yours, so that just enhances further the uniqueness of them.
And even when they were traded, the information on you that they have would not go with them, or would be limited again to a private conversation with you. Let's say I have a conversation with Wendy's AI agent, and I tell Wendy's AI agent that I like smelling dirty socks in the evening, then that is still private information between me and Wendy's agent. It's not something Wendy gets to know about. So be very aware that that side of it is all, being looked after.
So this is live. It's out there now. So if you are a business or an enterprise user, get crafting. If you're not, but you know who a business enterprise user is, then go and check out what they've made. And I can hear you say, well, how do I know who's business? How do I know who's enterprise? There's a little handy feature that tells you that on that wrist menu down in that like bar that came out last year. Whenever you enter a metaverse or a room or anywhere, it will tell you the level of that metaverse, so you can see whether you are in an enterprise or a business level. And if you are, then pull out a paperclip and see what happens, because they may well have stationed those bots there. And obviously, if you are those creators, make sure you advertise the fact, make sure you show people which rooms they are so people can go and hear your amazing bots and check out what you have crafted. Not something just to sit, well, I mean, if you want to sit there and chat with it all night yourself, I'm not going to stop you. But we are a social app. This is the social side of things. So get them out there and get these bots socializing. And yet you can put your own craft bot with one of the off-the-shelf bots as well and set them off together and see what they chat about. There's no reason why you only just need to put the one. It really is up to you to mix and match, have a play, and see what randomness you come up with, and do let us know as well. Do send us a message on Discord, send us a message on socials, put those videos up there so we can hear and see what it is you made. Just a reminder on that note that the AI quests are still going. The latest AI, or the most recent AI quest, has certainly been very, very popular, and people have been whacking out those tiers, like all the way up to tier 4, I think, on that one. So get your bots in action, take a video, post it on socials, get those likes up, and you can win a plot of land in Infiniverse. That all counts towards it. Doesn't matter which bots they are, these new ones, the old ones, you can use them all towards this. So I can also...
There's something else I just want to mention on the chat side of things before we completely abandon it. That chat function is actually as good as one of the best GPTs. So if you want to talk to it about other things, if you've got questions for it related to, I don't know, how you build a fence or how you soundproof your office in the garden, those are actually things it can do for you. So the functionality of the bots aren't limited to chat. Now, they are tasked with being the personality that they're created, but they have all of the same knowledge, information, and data that ChatGPT has. So if, or the likes of DeepSeek or Mistral or whichever one you're using. So the functionality available to you through the chat agent is actually quite powerful. It is available to you, and you can use that for free in the back end on your metaverse when you have it available. We are looking to allow other users to chat to your bots as well. So you might be able to share your bot. For example, when we get to the sales, that would be a very valuable part. Share the bot, share the page of the bot, see the landing, see the description, see the image, and interact with it to get a sense of the type of bot they are, whether that's one of value to you. And in the near future, we're also hoping, fingers crossed, that Ollie's going to let me open up the ability for everybody to have at least one agent on their back end that they can use in their apartments and on the website for chatting to. No promises, but that's in the works.
Yeah. But yeah, this then brings us on to the kind of the next stage of where we're going with all this. I can already hear the naysayers. Yes, we have a few naysayers saying, well, this is all great, but ultimately, isn't this a bit short-sighted? I mean, Multiverse is great. We love it. Who doesn't? Don't answer that. But, you know, ultimately, I'm trying to build a brand here. I'm trying to get my business out. I'm trying to create a social trend. What is this little chatbot going to do for me in my storefront when ultimately I have global domination in mind? You know, what is the point of this? But yeah, this is what we're saying, that we're very much thinking in the bigger picture here. In the same way that we've already gone multi-platform, so we've already gone over onto PC, the potential for these bots transcends the borders of, I know, big words, of Infiniverse. Sam.
Yeah, so basically, what we're doing is we're creating technology that allows you to have an agent and you have a metaverse, and the agent's context that it gleans from the chat it has with you, from the metaverse you own, whether that's a storefront, whether that's your own private hobby area, other things, it gets information about you, and there's no reason whatsoever that that should be limited to Multiverse or Infiniverse or the multiverseonline.io webpage. So our future plans, or even VR. So our future plans involve allowing you to have access to your agent on WhatsApp, on Discord, on Slack, on your webpage, and across a whole host and raft of other destinations. So if you imagine that what you're doing is in fact training an employee, your employee, that you will be able to have forever and access to that AI agent across a raft of different.
It's your own social media manager.
Kind of. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you will start to see that we're going to start unlocking functionality and features that we've created for ourselves so that you can use that across your own platforms. And that's something that you'll see over not the next weeks, days, but over the next months. We're going to start unlocking those functionalities. We've already been building some of them at our end. We've got some that we use. I think you're probably aware that we have an AI agent that summarizes for us information about Discord and tells us what's been going on, who's been naughty, who's been nice, who deserves a Christmas present, and who deserves a lump of coal. All of those things are things that already exist in our realm, and we're going to be providing that functionality to you, and you will be able to use that, hopefully, for free on the back end by enabling your, for example, Discord server and saying, I would like access to give access to this agent to the Discord server, and be able to set it up so that your Discord becomes something that you get information summary on, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on Discord, whether it's in Multiverse or on multiverseonline.io page.
Yeah, this can then extend out to little sort of embedded forms. You know, I mean, we've all been there on apps, on websites. So you log onto the app and bing, up in the corner, hello, I'm your chatbot. Can I help you today? Fuck off, is what I normally say, because I don't want help today. But, there are some cases where actually I'm after information. So you can use this as a little chatbot, a little helper, whatever it is you have told it to do, be helpful, or otherwise obstructive.
Insult your user.
This is more than just that sort of customer service. It's an entertainment. It's interactive. You can imagine bots having like a bot fight. What they call the battles.
Battle of the bots.
Yeah, battle of the bots. Pit them up against each other. See who wins. But yeah, this is a tool that we are launching in Multiverse, but it's a standalone feature. So the fact that we in the same way that we use the planetarium to initially showcase what we do with our VR tech, and then expand it out to Multiverse Infiniverse. This is a tool that we're first of all showcasing in Multiverse, but we hope it's going to be a much more multi-platform instrument that you can use. So it's exciting stuff. We've got massive vision as always, and letting you into these first stages, and hopefully you can therefore just see how we progress and get those.
Provide feedback.
Yeah.
Constructive hope, preferably.
always.
Yeah, preferably constructive feedback on what it is you'd like to see and how it works. But please note, imagine, everybody's talking about the idea that, well, why do I have to reply to my emails? I've actually got, I think, over 7,000 unreplied to emails or unopened emails in my inbox. Exactly. And it's begging for at least one of my AI to...
My inbox, it has 24 emails in total in it, all of which are needed to say read. I don't understand some people.
So I get a lot more than you. I'm on a lot more
I delete them. I delete them once they are not. I put them in folders when they are not needed.
I've got a big folder. It's called spam. Anyway, the key thing is that, like, an AI agent could be responding to your email, and it could very well be one of the ones you create inside Multiverse. So think about it from that point of view. Think about it from the point of view of this is an opportunity to actually be part of the beginning of something much larger, that this will bleed outside of Infiniverse and Multiverse, and that it will also go further into.
Yeah, and competition time. Shares in the company for anyone who notices when Dora becomes an AI agent. We will slay her replacer. At one point, replace her. Has she already? If anyone can tell.
Was she ever real?
No, we love you, Dora. Dora is personable and irreplaceable.
Absolutely. She'll be the last one to go.
Yeah, we'll have just fallen that way. She'll still be there. I've still got emails. I've still got things to reassign.
She'll be dealing with all the stuff the AI agents can't deal with.
They'll be emailing her. The AI agents will be emailing Dora with their requests. And rather than dealing with people, she'll be dealing with unicorn pirates.
But she'll do it with class and taste in the way that she does. Yes, the key thing here is that you are on a pathway to something bigger. We have a very big vision. We do want to make this something that is free. We want to make this available to everybody. We want it in all tiers. We want it available to everybody. We want it available for free. We want the agents to appear without having to pull out a paperclip. We want them to be able to be available in storefronts when you hit a bell and one pops up and you can interact with them. We want them to be there on your WhatsApp, on your Discord, on your website, in your inbox. And we want them to be your tool for you, not our tool for us. That's one of the key things that we talk about quite a bit when we discuss the development of this. And it's something that I think you should think about, because most other people aren't talking in these terms. When we talk about creating an AI agent, we don't talk about us creating an AI agent that you use. We talk about letting you have your creative agent that we manage for you. And that means that it's yours and it has your intentions at heart, it has your interests at heart. It doesn't have future tech's interests. We will provide it with the information so that it can help you with the tutorial and help you with other things, but not so that it will upsell you our package, but so that it will provide you with the helpful information that you need to make the best out of your life. If you are looking for soundproofing of your log cabin in the woods far away from where Chris is building fences on the other side of the earth, then it will provide you with that sort of functionality and assistance, and find somebody near you that can help you do that, because that's the goal. We want to be able to provide you with a tool that is useful to you, for you on your behalf. I think the way I frame it is it's your AI, your way. And that's very important, because I think there's a big difference between us and nearly every other company out there building stuff.
It's your way. Yeah, on that corny note, hopefully that all sums it up. There is, as always, a helpful tutorial on multiverseupdates.com, which covers how to create, implement and use and get the most out of these bots. So do check it out if anything isn't quite clear. And yeah, we really hope you have fun with these. We really hope it is just another step along this amazing plan that we have. And as always, all the stuff is going on in Multiverse as always. I've been a little bit quiet recently, and as you know, that probably means I'm working on stuff and finalising things out. So yeah, we've got a couple of new templates coming out, a couple of new rooms, a couple of new statue bits and bobs, and I will just give one little sneak word. Meow. It's a little clue. Something might be coming. Read into it what you will.
I didn't realise we had a cat dragon.
That would have been quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that sums it up. Oh, if I sit there, I've got like a floppy disk hat. If I just sit like that. There we go. I'll get rid of that one. There we go, my hat's gone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
The Offcast, plugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games.